Thank you for your help. Where are you from?
I'm from Canada, but I'm originally from Russia.
Russia. So when did you move to Canada?
I moved to Canada when I was 13 years old, and it was around 2004.
You have been in Canada for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
More than living in Russia.
That's right. I've been in Canada for 17 years now.
17 years, alright.
Mhm.
How long have you been in Japan so far?
I came here on September 5th, and it's been about 2 weeks and a couple of days.
I mean, what brought you to Japan though? I'm just curious.
I always was fantasizing about the country. I personally watch a lot of anime, so maybe that's part of it. But it's also I really enjoy the culture and the architecture of the buildings, the environments outside, and the disparity between the heavy concrete jungle cities and a nice countryside,
Yeah.
like beautiful areas. So it's kind of have everything you want.
Oh, really?
Has.
So probably you can see like the big side of Japan and the small side of Japan.
That's right.
Alright. So what is the biggest difference from Japan and Russia or Canada you live in your life?
It's kind of hard to tell because developed cities do have a lot of similarities, but
True.
from my opinion, it's kind of culturally wise, people are more polite here. They're more upfront. They work really hard, and customer service. People are really trying their best to do their job or kind of their life's mission here. Versus Canada, I think a lot of people are more relaxed and comfortable in their own.
So more Canadian people enjoy their life more than Japanese people. That's
Yeah.
what you feel.
At least from my outsider's perspective, yeah.
Alright. Well, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 2 languages, and I'm trying to learn Japanese as my 3rd language.
Japanese. You know some Japanese word.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Obviously, どうぞよろしくお願いします。
はい。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
ごちそうさまでした。
はい。
とても便利、とてもいいですね。
いいですね。
Yeah, it's hard. I try to kind of obviously shigoto. I think my Japanese level is that of like low elementary school student, I'd say. Yeah.
I feel like even the people from the English countries, the elementary school student, even little kids speak very great English, and I'm like, damn, my English is really lower than their level, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, maybe I'm propping myself up a bit. Maybe we should go down to like kindergarten, toddler level for sure. Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. Today I have been asking people about English, because I have been studying English for 3 years by myself, but I feel like there are people from Japan is kind of like struggling with speaking English, even though they study English at school. So I was wondering, how did you study English? Because you're originally from Russia?
Yeah. So since I came here in around grade 6, it was kind of just being thrown into the fray and having to force myself. It was a lot of studying of people's patterns, speaking patterns, and picking up key words and terms. And then as well having to try to find English friends and kind of jumping to the opportunity of speaking English. It's definitely a lot of mimicking and a lot of studying of vocal patterns in the moment, right when you're having a conversation. And I feel like that was the fastest way. As well, I read a lot and I wrote a lot. And back in the day, the internet was just starting to be big, so I was big into forums. I was typing a lot in forums. I think that's where my English definitely propelled forward. It was more like creative writing, I think.
Creative writing?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because that way it forced you to look outside of your regular speech patterns and to find something else, and there you would really have a closer attainment of mastery of the language.
Alright, so to try to like express your feelings by writing on a note or on a computer, whatever.
That's right.
Alright. Next question is, which is more important, pronunciation or grammar? Because people is trying to study pronunciation, because it could be kind of like hard that people understand if the like pronunciation is kind of like, you know.
That's a great question. I personally think that pronunciation is relatively irrelevant up to a certain point, because if you have the grammar and the capabilities, you will be able to express what you're saying eloquently enough for the person to understand and read between the lines. But if your pronunciation is great but you have no grammar, you're kind of throwing darts in the dark and trying to find what sticks. Besides, pronunciation is sometimes almost unattainable. For example, my parents, when they moved here, they still have a thick Russian accent, and they're unable to speak English with a Canadian accent, so to speak. But their grammar is normal, and they're able to converse normally with that. So for some people, I'd say it never goes away. I think after a certain point of your age, your kind of linguistical ability sets, and you just won't be able to get that pronunciation without very hard work.
That's true. That's true. I'm still struggling with like learning pronunciation. Even though I studied English for such a long times, it's really hard for me. But if the grammar is okay, probably people trying to understand what you're saying, as you're saying.
You're a perfect example of where pronunciation is irrelevant, because I understand you perfectly, and because your grammar is so good, and it's definitely a strong foundation where a person can kind of read between the lines of what you're trying to say, instead of just having to force themselves to understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Yeah.
Also, the pronunciation has something to do with their accent, right?
Yeah.
Each country has their own accent based on their first languages.
That's right.
All right, last question. How do you maintain your motivation towards studying another languages? Because sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes I give up on studying another languages.
Yeah.
Since it's really hard. If you feel like that this way, how should we try and like keep studying another languages?
I think the best way is to involve yourself in the community, or definitely have some kind of long-term goals. Let's say maybe you have a girlfriend that speaks another language. Let's say you're in a sports club where everybody is only speaking one language, or let's say you're in a company where the primary language is not your own. Definitely there has to be some kind of long-term goal, because without that you will definitely have a hard time motivating yourself. Without that, I guess it's kind of up to your own desires. It's just how much do you really want to succeed, and how badly do you want to learn that language. Yeah, it comes down to those key factors. And so it would be like your desire to really want to speak English versus the necessity for it.
A long-term goal is really kind of key point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There has to be a long-term goal in play, because for short-term goals, once you meet them, what else is there after? Do you really want to attain a mastery of the language, or do you want to just have a basic understanding? And if you do have a basic understanding, it really won't take long for you to get there.
All right. Everyone can hear very good things. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. And let's work hard together to attain our goals.